Amontes'TV. Welcome to my world, Amontes'TV. Welcome to my world, Amontes'TV. Amontes'TV.
Yeah, it's your boy, urban philosopher, aka Amonte Takumba. And on this video, I wanted to, explain how I ended up going to the penitentiary, right? And how I got charged with 2 counts of voluntary manslaughter. Now, years ago, I probably wouldn't have told this story, publicly like this, but like I said, I've done my time, so it's nothing for me to hide. And the thing I won't do, I'm not gonna be too detailed on names, because that would, some people might not want, y'all to know this. I mean, and me, I don't, like I said, it's not really, for me, it's a way of me airing it out, because, you ask some people, they felt like I had no remorse for the situation, and I really did. It was just being a youngin' at the time, and, going through your life situation, you do things. But anyway, this is what happened. It was June 28th, maybe the 27th, because like I said, maybe 27th, but I think I actually got caught for it on the 28th, June 28th, 1993. During that time, I was residing in Lynchburg, Virginia. And I don't know, it was one of those, you ever had like a day where you just know something ain't right, and you really can't put your finger on it, but you just know things not gonna go right. And then I can remember, not to go too far back, the next day before that, I had ran across some situations where, I could have probably died. So it was just one of those, I guess, weeks. And what happened, I had ran across some white guys that had marijuana. And they had some, what we call back then, red hair cess. So all they wanted in exchange were pull-out decks. And if y'all familiar with, radios and car systems during that time, you had a lot. If you had like a little money and had a nice system, 9 times out of 10, you had a pull-out deck. You know what I mean? And people could pull the deck out. You know what I mean? Before they leave, so nobody can have a chance of taking it. You know what I mean? But if you didn't leave it, dudes can go in there if they know what they're doing and take your stuff. So we end up, so I had a crew of little guys that would go to the local college campuses and go in them parking lots and tear off the parking lot full of, stereo and stuff. Man, it wasn't right, but, we young, we trying to get some money. And then this dude, we offering trash bags of weed, a fire redhead cess. So, so as planned, I sent the guy out there, they do their thing, and I presented him basically bags of Pioneers, and whatever kind of name it was back then, we had it. You know what I mean? So and what was funny, just like how people used to do steal cars and go to chop shops. That's how we was hitting the cars too. Like, we had them spark plugs and let that hit that window, and they'll shatter windows, and they'll go in there and they'll do their thing. Me, I just try to make sure I won't nowhere around. You know what I mean? But I was gonna make sure the boys ate, and that's what I did. So anyway, I went to the white guy, his name, I was gonna say his first name was Daniel, right? And Daniel, basically, no, that won't Daniel, let me take it back. Basically, I forgot who this white guy is, because it's years ago. This man, you talking about 1993, you know what I mean? So anyway, we made our exchange. So I got like 2 trash bags of weed, man, of red hair set. When I tell you trap, man, I got a big dumb. We can smoke forever. So what I was saying, that's what shit. We, ain't no sense of just keeping it smoke. We gonna start selling them, because we used to go to a lot of little parties and get together, especially where I was at in the suburban areas. Because in Lynchburg, it's several suburban areas. And Vermont, I think was the name of one of them. And some of the females I used to go to school with down there, used to live in that neighborhood. And I lived in the neighborhood because I lived in the home that was in that neighborhood called the Presbyterian home. So like I said, I'm not gonna say your name, but if you can put these names together, you can probably fit me in somewhere, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, so we took and bagged all of them up in ounces and dime bags pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And I told them, like, so while I told them, once I helped them bag it up, you know what I'm saying? And I think we had like a trash bag to the side. So once they bagged it up and then we put up some side of smoke, I said, look, man, y'all go ahead and pump this joint, and I'll see y'all later on. So I go to this dude named Mark house, and Mark was a student for Liberty University. And he was having like a get together. You know what I mean? And I knew a couple of guys from Liberty because when I was part of the Big Brother program, one of those guys was my big brother. You know what I mean? And the guy, matter of fact, one of the guys with my big brother, he was a tight end for Pittsburgh Steelers during those times, or maybe it was after. He was in, I don't know how to show he was in the league, but yeah, he had some kind of legal problems is what kept him from really being in the league long as he probably could have been. You know what I mean? But he was a good dude. But anyway, so I knew a few people there by going to the camp because they had like a super prep camp for basketball, which I also was part of. You know what I mean? So anyway, so we there getting together, and I see this female in there, a little fine situation, you know what I'm saying? And me and her was watching TV, right, kicking it, whatever. And then all of a sudden, I heard somebody at the door go, boom, boom, boom. It's like somebody kicking the door. So Mark, the dude who house it is, he goes to the door. He answers it, and it's a dude named David and another guy with him, and a female named Marcel, Marcel, right? So they're basically got a gripe with one of our friends, which his name was Craig, right? Craig, and he had another brother named Curtis. His name was Curtis and Craig. So she's saying that Craig took a gun from her or stole a gun from her. And Big Daniel is her boyfriend, and he's a hothead. And I was familiar with him, because he was like a bully around that area, especially against the white guys, you know what I'm saying? And he just tries to hang with us sometimes, but we let him know, like, man, we ain't them, you know what I mean? We don't care how big you is, blah, 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 man. But he was a hothead, he was a troublemaker for real, to be honest with you. So he, basically bullied his way through the door. And him, Daniel, and Marcel, whatever name is, went to the kitchen where my homeboy Tony was at. Tony, the house is full of people though. In every room is probably a couple of people, at least 3 or 4 people in every room. But especially in the living room and the kitchen, it was deep. Maybe eight or something like that, So when he go in the kitchen, I heard commotions and I heard 2 shots. Bow, bow. So when I went to the doorway between the living room and the kitchen, I noticed my man Tony on the ground. He ain't moving or nothing. I'm thinking he dead. And then Daniel, the guy he was with, and myself all looked back, said, there go his stick man or his homeboy right there. So I said, and so automatically I think he shot. So I'm thinking, what they gonna do to me next? So before they even could think about it, I took and pulled my gun out and shot both of them. Bow, bow, bow. Now when I shot him, a couple shots with the first guy and a couple shots with the other guy. You know what I mean? And, unfortunately, the first guy, he died. And they said that the other guy made it to the front porch. I wouldn't know because soon I did it, because for a minute I had blacked out. I was tuned out, you know what I mean? I thought they killed my friend, which was like a brother. And I'm thinking myself gonna be next. And I reacted, saying something, and to be honest with you, it was out of fear for my life, you know what I'm saying? So I did what I had to do, you know what I mean? So anyway, so I had blacked out for a minute, but it seemed like once I shot the last guy, it's like reality came crashing in again, and all of a sudden I can hear all these noises, people screaming, you got people running, and you can actually hear the police sirens coming. So, I took off, me and about a whole bunch of people, like saying like half the house following me. So we running through this joint, man, I'm running through the woods and I'm hopping gates. And I tell, it was a group of us at first, but they wanted to stay right there. I'm like, man, I'm gone. I said, because if we stay right here, they definitely gonna catch us. So, and I just had a feeling that they didn't want to think that somebody would make it across the street, be it if everybody seemed like they right here, because they still didn't know what was going on, who was the shooter, you know what I'm saying? So I ran across the street, threw the gun in some kind of hole and ran across the street, and this boy is a Italian cat, he ran with me. Which I wish he would have stayed with the crowd, because, anyway, I guess I had to get, dealt with either way. So anyway, I end up getting across the street, me and the other guy, and I tell him, I said, man, we're gonna eventually get caught because, the police is flooding this area. Even if, when it slow down, they're gonna be looking for people, and we're gonna be walking down this street. So I try to tell him what to say once the police stopped, because I knew he was, I like, man, whatever you say, do not tell them that we were at this party or at this house. They let them know we was coming from Hardee's or somewhere that was overnight. We had chose somewhere that was overnight, and then we basically was coming from there and we got something to eat. And then we going home, right? Like I said, we both 18 and allowed to be on the street. So the police, as we know, we walked down the street for a few minutes. He go to the police. Boom, one on this side, then he had one on the other side of the woods. You could see through the woods, right? So I gave him the story I told him again, which, you know, I told him everything, but I was at that party. This dude, they could see in his face and said, "Man, let me speak to you by yourself." They spoke to him about something. They said, you know, we both going out of town. And I just got a feeling, it seemed like to me, like he felt that I was going to do something to him. You know, which is why he kind of folded, you know what I mean? But anyway, they took us downtown, right? As soon as I get there, my seal said, there go that boy named so-and-so right there. And they looked at me and, you know, then they started questioning me, trying to give me cigarettes, trying to get me to tell on some drug dealers that was doing their thing around there. You know, I just basically told them the truth, man. I felt fear for my life, so I defended myself. You know what I mean? So they end up, you know, letting, I guess, question everybody else and letting them go. And they booked me that night. You know, went through fingerprinting and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And I had a, you know, he getting a preliminary hearing, which to determine whether or not they was gonna charge me with anything. You know what I mean? Or you know. And, you know, and you got to keep in mind, I'm in Lynchburg, 1993, and Lynchburg. And, you know, and black people wasn't that, you know, wasn't too much cared for in that city, you know what I mean? So that's how I know there's a God, man, because they could have really railroaded me, and they just, you know, and it didn't happen that way. So I ended up, like, say, getting 20 years for 2 counts of voluntary manslaughter because they knew that it wasn't premeditated. You know, they knew that they started it, but felt like I didn't have the right to defend him. But like I told him, I don't want to just defend him, I defended myself. Because like I said, if they did him like that, what would they do to me? And what made him for easier for them to charge me also is that my friend Tony that I thought was dead, he wasn't dead. You know what I'm saying? He ended up getting up. You know, it is basically knocked him out. You know what I mean? And the way he tell it, the big guy took and hit him with brass knuckles. That's how he ended up getting knocked out. And one of them had shot up in the air. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, so that kind of, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna continue this story next time. But, you know, from where I left off. But right now, like I said, I'm basically, you know, they didn't caught me. I'm in the jail, and I'm about to do sentencing. So until next time, peace.